From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. I'm Curtis Fuller. Today, much of our program will shine a spotlight on women. We'll talk with the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and we'll also talk with some women who are leaders right here in our city about the importance of sisterhood, and the founder of a great program called Dada Rafiki, which spotlights the accomplishments of local women. You'll also hear from internationally known artist Annie Ruth. But first, it was 100 years ago. The 19th Amendment was ratified. It guaranteed women the right to vote. And 55 years ago, the Voting Rights Act was passed. And now, in the year 2020, America has elected its first woman vice president, California Senator and now Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. As the father of two daughters, you can imagine how proud they are of this moment. Harris is the daughter of a mother who immigrated from India and a Jamaican immigrant father. She attended Howard University, one of the nation's historically black universities, and she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Ashley Kirkland talked with some young girls about the significance of this history-making moment.
But while I may be the first woman in this office, I will not be the last.
It was the line heard around the world by Vice President-elect Kamala Harris Saturday night as she finally helped shatter a glass ceiling that women before her had put dents in for over a century.
Every little girl watching tonight sees that this is a country of possibilities.
Girls watching like Woodward High School sophomore Kaylee Brown and Riverview East Academy senior Rachel Scales heard Harris's message loud and clear.
It just made me feel like we're able to do anything, like we aren't limited just because of the color of our skin, and that we are able to do whatever we put our minds to, that nothing is too great for us to accomplish.
I'm just happy that she is breaking down stereotypes one step at a time, literally. She took one vote at a time to now break down stereotypes that have been placed for years. We weren't allowed to vote, now we're being voted for.
Harris's history-making appointment also touched 7-year-old Jordan Smith, who you may remember from her heartfelt message that Black Lives Matter during this summer's protests.
I feel like I can accomplish anything in the world just like her because she's the first Black lady in the White House.
And as little Jordan rides off into her future, she knows if she believes it, she can also achieve it.
Anything that comes to your mind, that's what you can be, or you can do.
Up next, a conversation with one of the nation's leading voices on human rights, Dr. Bernice King, when Let's Talk Cincy continues. Celebrating sisterhood, Dr. Bernice King is the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Coretta Scott King, and she is the CEO of the King Jr. Center for Nonviolent Social Change. You know, I had the privilege of interviewing her for the Cincinnati-Hamilton County Community Action Agency's annual meeting. Here's part of that interview that began with our conversation about the current pandemic.
Well, you know, obviously, like everyone else, it's been a major transition, trying to find a new sense of normal and not being able to spend time with people in person as much as you would like. And so I think it's really readjusting your frame of mind and, you know, creating a vision for how you are going to live amidst this pandemic and the things that you are determined to still press toward in spite of the pandemic. I know that I've been able to do a little bit more introspection and think about some of the things that I have not done that I needed to do and that I will be doing moving forward, that in spite of the pandemic, thank God for technology, we can still do these kind of interactive things. I would say to anyone, don't isolate yourself. Have networks of friends and supporters, yet have that quiet time where you just have to push away from all of that to create a sense of balance.
Explain to people how you've been able to press on.
It's two things, really. It's my strong relationship, I say, with the Holy Spirit, because he helps me to navigate these tough times, and keeps me connected to the Word of God, keeps me connected to the Godhead, and keeps me sane. When I'm in groups and people will say, "What are you grateful for?" I always say, I'm grateful for sanity. People just don't understand that having your sanity is so critical. If you don't have that, you have nothing. And so that relationship. Secondly, honestly, I had a great example. My mom, I watched her, from a child up until the time she passed away. And interestingly enough, I was with her when she passed in Mexico. So I got the benefit of even watching how she handled death, which seems strange to say, but my mother was always a graceful woman. And she even handled that journey in a graceful way. And so it gave me this inner strength by seeing that example, having the benefit of being close to it. And I use that all the time in my mind. We used to say, what would Jesus do? In the back of my mind, I would think, what would my mother do? And sometimes it's just natural in me because we spent so much time together. It's almost second nature that I respond in ways that she responded. She taught us early on when my father passed, but we went through a journey. I went through my journey. It was not an easy journey. I mean, I was angry. And if I might use this word, I was pissed off. I wanted to hurt some people. I ended up going in a season of hating white people, especially white males. And yet that strong presence in my life and those strong teachings that she gave us, not just through her mouth, but through her very life, is what kind of pulled me in and stabilized me and pushed me to where I am today. I think too often we look first outward for that hope and for that change. And I think sometimes we need to look within. We need to understand that none of us is here by accident. It is by divine design. In fact, I always say to people that you were born to answer a question or to solve a problem. And you have to look within yourself to think about, what is that problem that I'm placed on this earth to solve? You don't have to be Martin Luther King Jr., a major leader, a major force like that. You don't have to have a humongous platform like some people have even on social media. But what you do have to have is an identification of what it is that I'm here to solve, what it is I'm here to impact, what it is I'm here to make a difference in.
Very interesting person. Through her work at the King Center, Bernice King educates young people and adults about the nonviolent principles modeled after her mother and father. Be sure to follow her on Twitter and Facebook. Now up next, Cincinnati's celebration of sisterhood when Let's Talk Cincy continues. Welcome back, everyone. For the past 15 years, internationally respected artist and arts educator Annie Ruth has honored hundreds of women and celebrated sisterhood through an amazing project called Dada Rafiki. This year's theme promotes a message of hope, health, and healing.
So it's Dada Rafiki, and it's actually a key Swahili word, 2 words. Dada means sister, and Rafiki means friend. I know you have heard Rafiki before because we've seen that or heard that word in The Lion King. So Dada Rafiki, I created that back in 2005. And you know what, it was a surprise. The women that were honored that year did not know that they were being honored. I called them and said, hey, I'm doing an art exhibit, can you come? So they were coming to support me, and there were 8 women in the community that I surprised with a beautiful painting. And that's the first Dada Rafiki celebration. And the feedback was that, oh, we want to see more of this, can you do more? And so I started celebrating Dada Rafiki every year at different venues in the community.
When I'm up or down, I can count on you to be around, 'cause you are my sister, my friend. Yes, you are my sister, my friend. And sisters are always there 'cause they're constant, whether right or wrong. You never, ever left me alone, 'cause you are my sister, my friend. Say yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are my sister, my friend. Now put your hands together like this. Oh, you prayed, you stayed, and you showed me God wouldn't make a way for me. Who? My sister. Who? My friend. Say yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are my sister, my friend. Now, if they ever ask you what sister is, you tell them this. Sister is a statement of loving unconditionally, supporting one another, respecting each other's individuality, sharing and giving. And for all that you have done and just being uniquely you, I give this as a token of my sisterly love. For you have been more than a sister. Hey, you have been a friend. We're gonna take it home. Here we go. Oh, you prayed, you stayed, and you showed me God would make a way for me. Who? My sister. Who? My friend. Hey, yes you are. Yes you are. You are my sister, my friend.
I tell you, Annie, Ruth is so talented. And now I want you to meet some of the Dada Rafiki honorees as they talk about what inspires them and the importance of sisterhood.
For me, sisterhood means women taking care of women, and not just women, taking care of girls and nieces and friends and aunties and grandmamas and church ladies. It's all of us coming together to celebrate the best in each other and coming together to take care of the worst things that happen to us. So sisterhood means being there for your sister.
I do what I do in the community because of the sisterhood that I've experienced all my life. I've always been drawn to older women, and when I think back about how they've poured into my life and given to me and my children and helped to build me up and bring out of me what I didn't even see in me, it makes me give back. I do what I do in the community because of my love for the Lord, first of all, and understanding that we are our brother's keeper and that we're responsible for each other. So that's what gives me life. It gives me strength to do what I do in the community, and it's life-changing for me.
My inspiration comes from my faith, definitely. But I'm also inspired by the people that have been placed in my life. The gifts that they bring to sharpen me and make me better. So inspired by my family, my mother, a strong Black woman who inspired me to be a strong Black woman. Inspired by my daughters who look to me for wisdom, but I've learned so much from them about who I am and who I want to be, because I think I'm still becoming.
So sisterhood to me is the bond that sisters share, and no matter where you are in life, or even if you're in another state, that person is always there for you. They're there to lift you up. They're there to make you laugh. They're there to remind you of who you are in case on some days you might forget. But no matter what, there's this unconditional love, and that you know that the sisters in your life are always going to be there for you.
There's so many people that do great things in our community that the community either kind of takes for granted or they're not as aware of. So my idea of legacy is to make sure that there are 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds and teenagers that are piqued with curiosity and interest about people that look like them and look like me and want to share that information.
Sisterhood to me is a reflection of women that share the same concerns, interests, and have some of the same abilities to accomplish what needs to be done.
I do what I do in the community because of the value of stories to build connection and understanding and that idea of the shared humanity. So for me, A Picture's Worth, which is the nonprofit I founded and am working on now, really gets to the core of how we gather stories, how we share stories, and how we find each other's strengths in our stories. And to me, we're surrounded by so many stories in the media that we can't escape them, even if we wanted to. But so many of them aren't the real stories of people's strengths and the love and the commitment they bring to the things that matter to them in their lives. So to me, what I do by trying to bring those stories out into the light is to really lift up voices that are way too often overlooked and really shine a light on the reality of our community as opposed to stereotypes and ideas that people think they have because of media imagery that is not based in reality. It's based in prejudice.
Sisterhood means to me that you are your sister's keeper. That it's our responsibility to make sure that you're lifting your sister up and that you applaud her for her accomplishments and not become envious. That you have a trusting and forgiving relationship with your sister.
When I think about sisterhood, I think about all the women in my life who have been, my spirit guides, my mentors, people who have helped me along the way. And now that I'm doing work at UC, I hope to pay that forward to the students that I work with and who I hope to impact, especially the young women.
So it's always been instilled in me. I'm the oldest of my siblings on top of that. And to always do what's right, do what's fair. I'm not perfect, but I strive for having peace. And growing up babysitting until I was 16, from 8 years old to 16, was a lot. And my adult life, being involved with others, keeps me going. I am away from family here in Cincinnati. I've only been here 17 years, even though this is my husband's hometown. So I miss the camaraderie of cousins that we all grew up together and my brothers and sisters. So being here and making new friends, especially with women, it sometimes is not as easy as one may think, but when I do make that mark with someone, it's a bond. It's long lasting. And I look at it, no matter what ups and downs we may go through, you are still my friend to the end, my sister friend.
And I do the work in the community that I do because I'm hoping to be able to leave a legacy, not for only those that I touch, but having grandchildren, 7 granddaughters and a grandson, but just so they'll have something to look back on and hopefully learn from me as the work that I've done and show that a commitment is important and that they have to participate as well.
Well, up next, an update on an act of kindness felt around the country when Let's Talk Cincy returns. Finally, I want to give you an update on a story that has everyone talking all around the country. You may have seen a story on the news about a Covington teenager's act of kindness. It's the type of story we needed to help ease the pain of a very difficult year.
Just treat people how you want to be treated, you know. Always help out if somebody needs it.
18-year-old Teo Jordan's words about caring for others is a powerful message. But while working at this Kroger in Covington, the love Teo showed a senior citizen who was shopping is a reminder that actions can speak even louder than words.
I seen that he didn't have enough money for all the groceries that he wanted, so the cashier told him to put something back, so I just thought in my head I'll just give him this $35 so he can have all the food that he wants.
Teo has only worked as a bagger here at Kroger for a few weeks. He's a senior at Holmes High School, a member of the basketball team. He's saving up to buy a car. But that was not more important than his act of kindness to a perfect stranger.
I am proud of Teo. I'm overwhelmed with joy. You know, you try to install in your kids right and wrong, but you don't know if they comprehend it. So, you know, I'm proud of him.
He was listening then?
Yeah, he was listening. Yes.
This message of helping is something we need to hear. Teo didn't want all of this attention, but he deserves it because he changed someone's life.
He gave him an extra couple meals that he probably didn't have. You know, we just need to be human again.
Just do something helpful for people, you know. Let them know that God's there for them, and make sure they have a good day.
Teo really made his mom proud, and he made the rest of us proud of him too. I talked to his mom, and she says he's still working at Kroger. Everything is getting back to normal after all that attention he received. His coach, by the way, started a scholarship for him, and he's still saving for that car. His goal is to make some sweatshirts and hoodies that say, "Pave the way." His mom also told me Teo is still humble, and he says he would do it all the same way again. Well, that's all the time that we have for you for this edition of Let's Talk Cincy. We want to hear from you. Email us your ideas at ltc@wlwt.com. And you can listen to us on podcasts wherever you get them. Have a nice